Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank. And yes, we got bored and finally realized hey, we've had OBS for like a good while on the desktop, on the browser, and we still haven't done anything with it. So let's do something with OBS. And we weren't quite ready for a rapid fire review on OBS, so we decided to test it with a book that is both new and that I don't really care if I get it wrong, Flashpoint Beyond, issue 0. So little bit of history about Flashpoint. Flashpoint was an event created by Jeff Johns that really was about Barry Allen being stupid and missing his mom. Decided to go back in time and stop his mom from being killed, and that creates a horrible, nightmarish universe where everything is just kind of terrible. Um, Thomas and Martha Wayne, when they go down Crime Alley, they're fine. Bruce is shot and killed, and they go off the deep end. Thomas becomes a murderous Batman. Martha becomes the Joker. Um, Sorry, it's always weird to say that. Um, Aquaman and Wonder Woman have an affair, which lead to a war between Atlantis and Themyscira. Avon's sword crash lands on Earth, and there is no Hal Jordan. I never read that story. Superman is taken in by the U.S. government when he crash lands. So yeah, and his ship kills like 50 something people. So yeah, it's weird. And DC decided to take the story that was not intended to reboot anything, tended to reboot and create the New 52, which was then retconned in DC Rebirth to be that it wasn't Flashpoint, it was actually Dr. Manhattan, a giant blue naked man, and that would be then resolved, sort of fixed over the course of DC Rebirth, which was really fun. Also helmed by Jeff Johns, and then he kind of went off into the ether and to work on DC live action movies, and then Doomsday Clock happened, which was delayed and whatnot, and coincided with a bunch of other events. And then we were left with the Omniverse after the events of Doomsday Clock and technically Death Metal. And here we are in this weird world, and Thomas Wayne is sort of in the middle of this other story going on involving the Justice League Incarnate and Dark Crisis. So, yeah. It's interesting to point out, to figure out where we are in that moment. So let's see exactly where Flashpoint Beyond stands in regards to everything else going on. So, as a heads up, I've read all but one of these. It's the Flashpoint, was that Gotham? Batman Night. Night of Vengeance. I didn't read that one. But I read the original Flashpoint story. I read um, Batman, Batman Flash the Button, written by Joshua Williamson and Tom King. Infinite Frontier, written by Joshua Williamson, as well as Justice Incarnate, written by Joshua Williamson. And really, this story is supposed to take place, I guess, in between these events. I think going by how the charge presented, but that doesn't quite make sense because we'll see in this story he references the button. The button couldn't have happened after the events of Flashpoint Beyond if they already happened. But I think the best idea is that what's happened is Thomas has found himself in the Flashpoint universe after the events of the button. But which is weird because in the story of the button we saw that universe or that Earth start to deteriorate or be destroyed by Dr. Manhattan. Our best guess is that at some point, presumably after the events of Doomsday Clock, with the creation of the Omniverse, the Flashpoint Earth was restored, which is kind of messed up when you think about it. But whatever. Every Earth matters, which means no Earth matters. But anyway, we see Batman from Earth Prime, our boy Bruce. He is investigating the work of Dr. Rip Hunter, one of the Time Masters, and it's interesting because the Time Masters aren't really talked about a lot in DC. They're pretty much like if the Time Lords were just a Celestial Intervention Agency, were just like Time Police. Really, Time Lords don't just do that. It'd be nice if they just did that, but no. Um, and I think the only time I've ever seen them in a story would be um, what was it? Batman: The Return of Bruce Wayne, and of course the CW TV show Legends of Tomorrow, which I just sort of like a lot of CW shows. I just stopped watching. You know a story, you know a TV show is going downhill for you when you realize you've missed an episode and you don't care. Anyway, so one of the things he notices is, in addition to a broken time machine, is this chart. One of which says like hey, 5G averted, which hopefully it has been averted. Doubt it is, but who knows? Anyway, he's been getting help from Marionette and Mime, who were two of the were they standout characters? They were two characters from the Watchmen universe that ended up here in, I guess, the Prime Earth. I don't quite know where they are, so let's just say it's Earth Prime. And yeah, they have a daughter, and they're doing a thing. They're criminals, and Mime is actually pretty dangerous because whatever he mimes tends to happen. So when he makes that gun sign, yeah, he's trying to shoot somebody, and someone will be shot. Anyway, so Batman gets what he came for, which is a snow globe and a watch, which apparently belonged to Lori, and what was it, Jenny? I forget which one. Wait, snow globe, Jenny. Oh, Dr. Manhattan's wife. Hope I got this right. Anyway, he comes across chalkboard says Thomas Wayne will die. He's like, well, look, I may not be on good terms with the Flashpoint Thomas Wayne, but I'm pretty sure every other Thomas Wayne, in other words, every other version of my dad, has caused me less grief. Well, yeah, because Earth 3's Thomas Wayne was killed by Bruce's brother. Anyway, we then actually begin the actual Flashpoint Beyond story with the Clockwork Killer, and Thomas is sort of dealing, he and his lawyer, Oswald, are dealing with Judge Dent, and Judge Dent like, look, if you don't go see my wife and help her get through this crazy stuff she's going through at Arkham Asylum, I'm going to pretty much have you, go through with my evidence that proves you killed people. I'm like, well, you should already be doing that. If he's killed a bunch of people and it's still a crime, you shouldn't be kind of like, you got to visit my wife, otherwise I'll prosecute. I'm like, wait, that's terrible. Anyway, Thomas doesn't care. He's trying to figure out why he's in the Flashpoint universe, and I don't get this image here. Like, is he trying to go Super Saiyan? Is he constipated? And he thought the elevator was the best place for it. He doesn't quite know why he's there. Because if I'm right, and during the events of Justice League Incarnate, he was sent back to the Flashpoint universe, this universe in his mind shouldn't exist. The Flashpoint universe in his mind, in the eyes of Barry as well, this is an abomination timeline. It's not its own separate Earth, which I think Thomason realized that's where he's at. He's not a different timeline now. He's in a different Earth, a different continuity. And he's like, well, this is still a terrible place to be. I did all this for my son, so my son would be alive. And he's not feeling it. He's not feeling. He goes to visit the grave. He thinks about what he's done, and he's realized someone has sent him here. And after talking to the, I guess, ghost of his psycho Joker wife, Martha, he's like, you know what? We gotta try to fix this. And we sort of get a recap of exactly what's been going on. This Earth is on the brink of another war with superheroes, I guess, because they don't like superheroes, which, to be fair, if even Batman's killing people, I wouldn't like it either. They talk about the fact that during the Atlantean-Amazon War, the Atlanteans won, but Europe is underwater, and there's no guarantee that the Atlanteans won't turn their spears and hydro-Atlantean water technology on them. And they got to work on that. There's all this other stuff going around here, like the Green Lantern with his super imagination-powered weapon, Elemental Woman, who was around for 10 minutes in New 52's Justice League, and then ended up on the Doom Patrol, and no one cared. It was about Jessica Cruz. That whole story with Elemental Woman on Doom Patrol was just about Jessica Cruz. That's all it was. It was all about Jessica Cruz and getting on the Justice League. And of course, the status of Superman, who is not in a good spot, because when his ship crashed on Earth, it killed 57 people, and the government has him, and now he's out loose. They don't know what to do. Once again, the government has made things worse. All right. So, at his Batcave, he sees that someone has written "Everything Matters" on a chalkboard. He's like, is that you, Thawne? Is that you, Reverse Flash? You think this is funny? Are you getting back at me for stabbing you in the back and or shooting you in the movie? Are you getting back at me for this? All right, fine, but I tell you what, my son is in danger because of this. If my son is in danger, nothing matters. Remember, everything Thomas Wayne did in Flashpoint, everything he's done in Tom King's Batman run. Sorry, everything he's done in Tom King's Batman, as misguided and terrible and stupid as it was for his son. And so now he's in here and something might, and it technically means that his son's in danger. No, No, we're going in. I'm gonna fix this, and there's only one man who can help me fix this, and that is Barry Allen. Now remember, the Flashpoint universe was created because Barry changed the timeline by saving his mom. And if his mom is safe, that means his dad never goes to prison. And if he never goes to prison, then Barry's not motivated to become a forensic scientist to try to solve it. Luckily, though, Barry is still a forensic scientist, and which still makes no sense the more you think about it. The inciting incident, the inspiration, the raison d'être, if you will, didn't happen. So how do you end up here? And Barry can't keep anything, can't keep appointments, can't keep a date. Like, he clearly was supposed to. I think this is supposed to be Iris. His the girl lives in the same building as him, and he left her standing at. He stood her up at a date, and the bartender picked her up, and he's coming around again tonight. She's like, "Look, Barry, you're a nice guy. Like, you love your family, you love what friends I think you have, but your job takes advantage of you, and after all that, you come home to nothing. I don't think you're living the life you should be living," which is a very subtle way of pointing out that this universe still makes no sense. Anyway, we then cut to him going into his apartment building, or his apartment, to find Thomas Wayne. Like, "Hey man, how you doing?" This looks like a very weird attempt to recreate the scene from Justice League when Barry Allen walks in and sees Bruce, sitting in his room. But anyway, he's like, "Look, I need your help. And first I gotta tell you some stuff you're not gonna believe. One, I'm Batman, alright? And you are the Flash. And everything here is your fault. Alright? And you gotta help me fix it." And Barry's like, "What? That makes no sense." And he's like, I get it. But you gotta come with me, Barry, and we gotta fix everything. Because what happened was, you time traveled and you hit everything, made it worse, and this is the universe we're in. Everything is your fault. And Barry's like, that makes no sense. You're crazy." Thomas has no more patience. Like, "You know what? Fine. You think I'm crazy, but I'm going to knock you out, and then I'm going to help you get your powers back." And so when Barry comes to, he's strapped to a chair on top of a building, a bunch of chemicals on one side, and Tom's like, "Look, in this other timeline, you have a wife, you have a family, you have a legacy. Alright? And I need to help you get that back. I need to help you. When you lose a child, it sends you off the deep end. Alright? I'm a prime example of this. So, we're going to try to find a way for you to get your speedster powers. And what we're going to do is we're going to have you either struck by lightning, or we're going to use these chemicals. One of these two things will turn you into a speedster. I hope. It worked for the other Barry. It'll work for you." So, it all tends to go through. The lightning comes down. Boop, boop, ba-doop. And, yeah, someone interferes with it. And, Barry didn't make it. Barry is not the fastest man alive. He's now what appears to be the most charred man alive. And, yeah. So, it turns out, at the same time this happened, Judge Dent came to pretty much arrest Thomas Wayne, and he was caught in the crossfire. It looks like he was intentionally shot. And that leaves just Dent, Harvey, and his son, because ever since the loss of his daughter, Harvey takes his son everywhere with him, keep him safe, and Thomas is able to save him, but also tries to figure out who messed up this experiment and technically killed Harvey Dent. It's an Atlantean soldier, and the Atlantean soldier is really trying to get underneath Thomas' skin, trying to, save himself. He admits, "Yeah, look, I'm a killer. I like killing. I know you like killing, too." And, yeah, Thomas snaps and kills the guy. And then we cut to the epilogue of the next issue. Just sort of the epilogue. And the commissioner goes to deliver the news to Gilda that, "Oh, yeah, your husband's dead. I know your daughter died a while ago. And now, your son will be taken into child services and whatnot because you're crazy." And then she says something interesting. She says, "Bruce Wayne is supposed to be Batman. This world is upside down." And I'm trying to figure out, is she from Earth Prime? Is she from what used to be the main continuity? How is she here? What is going on? No wonder people think she's crazy. Bruce Wayne's dead in this Earth. So then we cut to a different kind of epilogue, where this kid comes in and says, tells Bruce, like, you gotta stop this man, because if Dr. Rip Hunter, Time Master finds out what you've been doing, oh, they're gonna do stuff to you, they're gonna bring us all back, and you won't like what's going on. Well, you will not like what happens when the Time Masters come back. Alright? People with control over time, what we'll do to you, and what we should have probably done to Barry Allen after the events of Flashpoint. Yeah, you shouldn't have done this, man. You shouldn't have done this. And that's how the comic ends. So ultimately, this is alright. I don't love it. I don't particularly hate it. I'm kind of indifferent to it. I didn't really. The Flashpoint book was not this earth-shattering, this is an amazing book for me. It was like, okay, this is a decent story, a fun idea. Finding out this led to New 52 was to me weird, even on, well, like, whether you love New 52 or hate it. I like the idea that it didn't. Like, New 52, what should have led to New 52 really should have been the events of Jeff Johns' Green Lanterns. All right, the return of the First Lantern, Volthoom, Volthoom's ability to bring up different versions of lanterns and whatnot. You could have easily amped that up to be, okay, and this final battle with the Green Lantern Corps and all the other Lantern Corps leads to the universe rebooting. Like, why not? Like, what is lost? What is lost by doing it that way? It also would have explained why Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run didn't seem to be affected by the reboot. Because it caused the reboot. That would have made a lot more sense. But no, we didn't do that. No. This story in itself is, I think, alright. I think this is the first time I've generally enjoyed Thomas Wayne. Maybe something good will come from this. The issue of the Atlanteans. We'll probably see some Amazons still surviving. Who knows? Infinite Frontier and Just League Incarnate were alright. And that one, Thomas Wayne is one of many characters who get to play a role. So, do we spend a lot of time in his head? No, not really. I'm looking forward to issue 1. Issue 1 might be what make or breaks it for me, whether or not I keep going with this. And, yeah, like, I have the same feeling about Batman Killing Time. Like, I read issue 2 of that, and I'm like, you know what? This is alright, but I don't need to read this week to week, or month to month. I'm kind of tempted to wait for the trade. Before I actually talk about it. Same with Batman 89. Like, there's been a lot of, like, lackluster books out that you read, like, one issue is great, and then you come to the rest, like, just that. We're going to stop that. That is weird. So, anyway, with that in mind, this brings me to close here. If you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you read this, what'd you think about it? What'd you think about this new OBS setup? I think I want something in the background, like, something better backgrounds. Like, I think this is teal? Like a light blue? I don't, nah. We need, like, a default background for us to be on here, and we'll see what happens next. So anyway, like I said before, this is Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.